Hey there. Um, I'm just saying this was all a ruse to get you here because I'm selling my Halloween candy. So if you want it, I'm selling it for free. No, this is actually, I just came off a call with a few American colleagues, and I was like, you guys are so deprived of the good stuff over here. And I was like, they don't have coffee crisp, they don't have caramel. Who's never had a caramel? Like, really? Ketchup, chips, stuff like that. So I'm like, I'm putting a care package together so you can all experience what a true Halloween feels like. Anyway, that's just for fun. What we're here today to discuss, hi everybody, is language, yes, and the power of words, right? So all these things that we're here to discuss today, mastering your language. We all know that words can be this powerful thing, but sometimes in our business, we don't give it enough thought. Okay, I've been working with language for 20 years, studying it for much longer, and that's what it boils down to. That's why it's my passion and everything else. And we're here today to discuss three things. I think I posted this in. So why it's hard to change the tune of your business. Why is it so hard that I'm stuck where I am, and I think just as I get ahead, I'm just find that I'm still here or no one's still listening. You know what I mean? I thought I tried this, but it's not happening. We're also going to cover the power of your words in marketing, how powerful they actually are. Like, no one pays enough attention to them. And three is what you have to stop doing today with your most important messages. Like, just stop this. So whether you're watching us here, welcome. I'm so glad you're here, or catching us on the replay. This is going to be really powerful. I don't know how long it'll go, but I'm actually going to try to do a couple things, including taking your comments in the chat. If you have questions that pop up, I hope that I can be multitasking enough to grab them and do them. So let's dive into that first question. And that's why it's so hard to change the tune of your business. And oftentimes this just simply boils down to, we can't let things go. We can't let things go. I mean, it's like letting things go, letting the old thinking go, right? The old methods go is automatically going to shift stuff around. Now, whether you think words and language have actual energy or whether you think they have illicit emotions, that's besides the point. But when you let go of old language, your focus starts to change. So, but listen, like, we've been living with ourselves a long time. Like, we are who we are. Our personalities are there. And we've been using the same crappy language to define ourselves, really, and maybe sometimes for your business for some time. I'm even talking like the thoughts we think about it that come out in our language. And when it comes to marketing, I think we have to be more intentional about the words we're using. But we always tend to use, what people do is they use words that are more comfortable and safe. And here's the biggest part. The reason why you're not getting ahead in your business, or you feel like you're still, is because you're just using other people's words. Think about that. Think about how many times you've heard something that you like and you go and use it in your marketing. Think about how many times you've seen a meme and you go and use it, or you repeat it, or you retweet it, or whatever, and call it your own. Okay? You do that a couple times thinking, ooh, that was new. That felt neat. And then, but you're looking and everything's kind of still, the chart's not going up, that hockey stick isn't going up. Things are just staying the same. Well, first of all, you haven't committed to anything. But second of all, because it's not yours. There's some work to be done here to make a connection between how do I really approach my business? What language do I use in my daily vernacular? What do I always talk about? What words do I use that hold a lot of emotion? Can I steer some of that, into my business? Or more difficult than that, am I bringing that into my business when I shouldn't be? I don't know. So there's work to be done to make the connection of what's happening here. I can identify that really quickly, but all it takes is some observation at first. Okay. So, and like I said, sometimes it's hard. I think it's the first or second distinction in my webinar that I have free in the About Us section. the way to step into your expertise as a thought leader, not just a business owner or an entrepreneur, but a thought leader in your space, is to let go of some of that old language. And I want you to be really conscious of what worked a few years ago ain't working today. People are sick of it. They're done with it. Okay, let's evolve. Let's evolve here. So that may be a reason that you're feeling a little bit stuck. The second thing is I want to talk about today. So first of all, oh my gosh, I was looking at comments and I'm like, ooh, that's a really nice compliment. Thanks. But you know what? Yeah, it's been 20 years. I started in radio in university. I know I have a birthday coming up. It's now I'm going to have a little contest. Who can guess my age? Please don't do that. Please. But yeah, like started in radio. Actually, it started what I consider to be my experience with language. It started in poetry contests and speaking competitions in elementary school. Like there's something about the power of words that I have. So it's not 20 years. It's like whatever. It's like way more. But there is something that elicits things in people when it comes to language, and the use of language and the power to elicit and to inspire action in people, no question. And I'm not just talking about being a talking head here, okay? I'm talking about intentionally linking your words that you use to the outcome and the mission of your business. This is a business live I'm doing. So intentionally linking words with your business. Anyone, you know what I mean? Like there's meaning behind it. So I think that, I think I've covered that first point now. And the second point is the power of the words in your marketing. Now, what I couldn't get together, I speak about this a lot. I do workshops and presentations and trainings and whatever about marketing. And there's tons of statistics. But the one that really stood out for me for this one today, for this Facebook Live, was in terms of the power of words. Think about this. 20 years ago, I was training corporations, CEOs, franchises, and whatnot in media training, in how to position the brand of your company live and online, live and in person through interviews, and how to do that in quick bullets and media. You train your brain to respond and steer the interview. Anyway, in that training, there was a stat, and at the time it was like it takes someone 4 times to get your message. It takes someone to hear your message 4 times before they actually take action. Do you know how that number has changed? It's now 7 times. We are dealing with overwhelming amount of content. You know this, but it takes someone 5 to 7 times today versus 10, 20 years ago to connect and understand what you're saying. So please don't think that, the power of words is powerful, but do not think that saying it once or having a really good speech or a really good Facebook Live or something and it's like nailed it, watch them come through the door now, like, woo, that was powerful. It doesn't happen like that. It's the 5 to 7 times. Now you as a thought leader have to be very good at, oh my God, I nailed the message. How am I going to repurpose this 5 to 7 times? How am I going to do that on the fly? How am I going to do that again and again without repeating, without sounding like anyone else? You need to get used to that muscle. So again, for point number 2 today, the power of the words in marketing. Because our attention span, I think Generation Z, the attention span has gone from 7 seconds in Gen X to 3 seconds in Gen Z, right? This was already a couple years ago. I mean, who knows now? But, these people coming up, your future or current consumers are only be able to hold their attention for that long. So to my last point, not only do you have to do it more times, incredibly creative ways, and on the fly, you got to do it faster. Get to the point. Like, holy crap. Now you got a lot more to do as a thought leader, as an expert, if you want to stand out, if you don't want your business to stagnate, like I'm telling you. So point number 1, I just covered. Point number 2 is that. So I'm checking the chat and can't comment to groups. Okay. I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything in the chat. So ask questions, guys. Pop in. I will do my best because I got on these. I'm on a roll, but I'm going to try and go back and forth. So that's the power of words. Here's the other thing that I really want to make clear about the power of your words. The truth is when we don't put intention behind our words, it puts us in a very different state. And it's a really like waiting, hold placing, like you're in a waiting pattern state, an unresourceful state. It just changes everything about how we do. So be more conscious of the language you give, because here's 3 things. Language creates meaning. It does. Okay, you're constructing their view of the world by the language you choose. The meaning creates the focus. That's both where they're going to focus and pay attention and where you're going to focus. And once you've done that, the focus is going to create your results. So do you see, by using the right language, it's constantly forcing you to hone in on your niche, hone in on your expertise, dig that trench till it's done, and don't move on until the point is made. Now, make sure you're making the right point and it's unique and it sounds like you. But again, the intention of language and this whole thing of the power of the words in marketing, there's more going on here than a snappy tagline. Those are important too. But to be unique, to stand out, to be getting people to come back to you again and again and be seen as an authority and to understand people know what you're talking about, the meaning you put behind your words is going to direct your focus, and your focus is where you are going to see the results. So if you're seeing scattered results across the board, it's probably because your language isn't focused. Got it? That's point 2. And this is from some of the top business masterminds in the world and coaches in the world. They know this, right? Like, where you focus creates your results. It's the same. And I believe my point is it starts with the words we use. It just all starts with the words we use. Number 3, please stop doing this with your most important messages. Stop watering them down. Now, I catch myself doing this too. Stop when you've made a really good point, when you have honed in on a message. This takes practice, guys. And this is like, we are all learning this. My clients are all learning this very quickly. It's probably the hardest muscle to train. When you've nailed your one thing, when you've nailed your messages, right? Those core key messages that drill to the heart of the matter, reach in, pull on the action and actually shift the course of your business, that type of thing, that type of message, stop watering it down. In fact, I would say, stop talking. This goes back to the art of the pause. I get really ramped up in these Facebook Lives, and I always feel like I'm on a time crunch for some reason, so I talk really fast in them. I don't know if you do that. It's also part of my personality and nature. But when it comes to your message, stop talking. I don't know how to say that. That's so funny. But it's true. When you've made your point and it lands, be quiet. Like, let it resonate. Try it out. And that is in a one-on-one, face-to-face scenario, presentation scenario. Number 2 is when your message lands, when you are crafting this, when you are building content and stacking around it, posts and whatever, actually writing it down, stop watering it down. Stop watering it down with explanation. How's the best way to say this without confusing you? If you're watering your messages down with too much explanation, you won't be giving anyone the opportunity to say, tell me more. Does that land? Like, you won't be giving anyone an opportunity to follow up, right? Find out what's on the other side of that, and they know they only can get that from you. Okay, this is very important. Pay attention to what I'm saying, because we're now getting into sales and business and income tactics. But anyway, language sets the stage for the results to come. So the language and the wording will set the momentum for the action people take. If you give them all kit caboodle, A to Z, there's no reason for them to take action. This is not a trick. This is not a tactic. This is about building your authority. That is what this group is all about, right? We are here to be the authority in our space. How do we do that? This one particular Facebook Live is about the power of language at the center, not even the center, at this beginning of that, and how much words are a valuable part of the marketing strategy, and how we must do a better job of understanding, why are we using certain language? Should we be using certain language? Would there be something that resonates more? Am I lying to myself by speaking this when I really should be speaking this and changing my audience? It's all about the building blocks, and the first is with language. So this is a little bit like so stop doing that. So hopefully this has begun for you, this journey of understanding what we're doing here, what we're trying to steer everyone to doing more of with their business. And I hope that you got that and understood that. And the last point, I did want to make one last point. Okay, so yeah, the last point is, so your language, use it. Be diligent about it. Be militant, in fact, about it. Stop yourself and stop others from using other language around you. I've already done Facebook Lives on that, right? This almost militant approach to, I will no longer use this word. I will no longer consider myself this and put myself in that huge melting pot category because I'm here. I'm over here. Okay, so it's be uncompromising, but it starts with the language you use. And I know we slip back and we're like, we say this powerful statement. I hear it all the time. And then they're like, well, because blah, 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 blah. And they qualify it. They're not comfortable with it. We're not comfortable with the silence after making that amount of impact. I get it. It's a muscle. It's new. But with it, first step in all of this is be sure it's the right language, right? This is what we have to all do. Be sure it's the right thing. No one's going to expect you to step into something if you're totally uncertain. And the only way to get certain about it is if you've built out the right language in the first place, the right key messages, the right area to focus on in your niche and in your business, obviously. But if, these are steps that anyone can apply now in this group. And this is definitely the stuff that I drill down on every single week with people. It happens so fast. It is the best to hear from people. Holy crap. I just used this the other day. I was on camera and it flowed. Like, that is the best feedback I could ever receive. I was on camera. I was being interviewed and it just came out of me, where a week before there was uncertainty, unclear, confusion, muddiness, and doubt. Now there is, I just jumped over, I took my first 2 feet in the ground, and I'm actually living it. And the best part about hearing that feedback is that the people on the other side of the camera and in the room and in whatever are giving them feedback of, whoa, what did what you just said? Or, wow, we really gotta investigate more. I'm going to follow you. We got to connect. That is what I'm talking about. So all starts with words, these little itty bitty things that I love, love, love. And it's words. So, that is my jam. That is what I love to do. The lake I love to swim in, and I'd love to do it with you. Hopefully this was really useful, and you can, actually, I'm not sure if you can share this, but share the group with others. Like, if these messages are resonating with you guys, please invite others to into the group. Like, I think you can do that with a private group. I should know that. And just, it's hard to get past using language that you're afraid will make people feel angry. Thank you. Sorry, just caught that. I think that just came in. Let's finish off by answering that question then. Using language you're afraid will make people feel angry. Absolutely it is. That's why this is not a recommendation to just start ruffling feathers. 100%. It doesn't mean that your meaning and your intention deserves to go unsaid and unnoticed and unused. It means let's get real about, well, tell me about your message. What is it? How are you trying to reach people? It also means that indicates to me, when you feel that fear about making people feel angry, it indicates to me that you haven't done enough research or supportive investigation of your audience, number one, their pain points, number two, then you haven't done enough research of your experience and your linking to your own brand. Because once those two things connect, that goes away. That goes completely away because you've already built the language of your brand in an effort to serve people. And that's why I talk so much about mission. Once you know you are there to serve, we are not on this, then I am not on this earth. I don't get up on a Monday excited to not help people. People need to know about this. Once you have the right language, the confidence and the certainty comes. And I'm not talking about blowing smoke. I'm talking about, there is research to be done on why this is an issue, why it needs to be addressed. There are facts. This is not about going out and making people feel things. Okay. Yes, it is. You have to bring emotion into marketing, but you're not just going to make people feel things and walk away. That's shady. If you're, when people use these marketing tactics to make people feel things and they get in there and they manipulate with their feelings and then they walk away, like, what are you leaving them with? If I'm going to take someone there emotionally, I'm getting emotional now. My voice is all high and stuff. If I'm going to be taking someone there, and if my message landed, you better believe what an expert would do, what a thought leader would do is provide the bridge. They provide the solution. Now you're providing service. You're not just pissing people off. That's the first thing. So be very clear on your outcome. Now, I'll encourage you to go read the post I did yesterday. Are you leading with uncertainty? Please read that post and see if that resonates in a different way after asking that question. Thank you. So read that post again, okay? Number 2, will you piss people off? Yeah, probably, maybe, depending on what your industry is, depending on how sensitive your topic is, depending on how you're speaking. Are you speaking to health or relationships and emotional things? Absolutely. You're going to get all kinds of things. And what is the beauty about working with people and watching happen is they get less and less and less concerned about the haters or the disagreements. They get more certain in their answers to those people, but less concerned about it because they're here to serve. They're here to serve people who understand and get it and want the result. Okay. So that's the community you're trying to build. Last point on that, because this is a very good question I'm answering, guys. It's hard to get past using language you're afraid will make people feel angry. If you're making people feel angry, you better follow it up with your expertise and thought leadership on that. Don't just leave me there, right? And you better be certain that you're not just out there to ruffle feathers. So, man, I could do a whole Facebook Live on this, to be honest. And I hope that really drove some things home. I think I did touch on things, but because in this venue and we're not live or face-to-face, and I'm giving these quick things, I hope I answered that for you. I hope I gave you some things to consider on that, because that was a great question. It's important. You're not here to ruffle feathers. So go back and listen to this again. And I really hope, guys, if you're still on, or if you're watching the replay, go and listen to this again. Remember that it takes 5 to 7 times to get people's attention and for things to sink in. Go back and use this group as one of those tools. If nothing else, if you're just here and you're just curious, if you're just here and you're not sure you want to talk to me yet, if you're just here because you want to improve your business, if you're just here because you don't know what being an expert means, go back and listen to the modules. I have a search function. Listen to the Facebook Lives. I have a search function that you can search, what's this thought leadership thing? What does that mean? Look it up. What about speaking, or what about language? What are the tools she's talking about? Just use them again and again and again. There are nuggets in there that are going to resonate, not maybe until the second or third time you watch it, like anything. And don't go out there adding more tools and people and groups and solutions. Just use the stuff you have and use it more efficiently. That's another theme that also runs through me and my business and what I can offer people, right? Just use what you have. And you have this group, you have my time and my energy. So use it effectively. And that means watching things 2 or 3 times because new things are always coming up. I'm very specific about the language I use. So really be clear and tune into what I'm actually saying. Okay. So thank you very much. I'm going to go and jump on more calls, serve clients, go out into this world, do what I say and say what I do. So it's been great. And thank you so much for comments and for showing up. Please comment below. I also love you to participate and just comment below the distinctions you got from this Facebook Live. I will talk to you very soon. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And happy Friday. Take care. Bye.